Hey y'all, Bay here bringing you Captain Tsubasa Dream Team, and today what I'm gonna be talking about on this video is, as on the thumbnail, I'm gonna be doing a prediction of the upcoming Dream Collection. It should come to the game probably this Friday after the maintenance as usual. And before I go on to my guess, let's go over all the past Dream Collections that came in the past. But the thing is, for global version, it was the way they brought it to the game was a little different from how it came to the Japanese version. So I'm gonna follow the Japanese one because I think Clav is releasing the characters in order. I don't know if there's any pattern. I can't tell what is the pattern, especially for Dream Collection, because for that, unlike Dreamfest, they don't even put the types in order for Dream Collection, right? But anyways, let's go over what came in the past in order. The very first Dream Collection that came was Tachibana Twin, these two. And then the second Dream Collection was Chester and Margus. Yeah. And then the third was Clivert. So these are different because in global, they brought like several Dream Collections at the same time, every Dream Collection there was in the beginning, trying to catch up to the Japanese app. So it's a bit different, but I'm just gonna go over it in order how it came in the Japanese version. So third one was Clivert. Fourth was Robson and Victorino. And then fifth was Salinas Alberto. And then after that, sixth was Akai. Seventh, Vulcan, the first Vulcan and Soda at the same time. And then next one was Xeno Dream Collection with Pascal. Right? Yeah, and then Espadas alone. And after that, this was when the first year and for the Japanese app last summer. It came in the middle with the national team kit, Argentina. It was Diaz and Pascal. And frankly speaking, this Diaz wasn't that useful. As you can see on the stats, his stats were really bad because of his passive being, I forgot what, but it was, yeah. So I don't see many people using this Diaz. This Pascal was not that bad because he has 80% auto intercept with interception stats at 76k. That's, I mean, 7,600. And then after that, it's still during the first year round for the Japanese app. There was Matsuyama, the blue Matsuyama. And again, this, like Diaz, wasn't that great. And right after the Japanese first year round finished came Jito. And this is like a really strong Dream Collection. I think many people are still using him as a starter right now. And after that came the second Vulcan together with Oiran. Yeah. And then after that came Matsuyama. And finally, all the past Matsuyamas, whether Fest or Dream Collection, weren't really great. But finally with this Dream Collection Matsuyama, this guy became OP, and today there are many people, especially those who are going with red type or Japanese team, are using him as a starter. And this guy is OP, yeah. And this is like, I have him on global, but I don't have him on the Japanese app account. And this is the #1 character that I want in the game for the Japanese app. I mean, yeah. And then came Morisaki. This guy is really good too. This guy, because 2018 Wakabayashi stood as a starter for such a long time, and because many people were already raising SGGK from the start of the game, it was easier for most people to shift to 2018 Wakabayashi than Morisaki. But to be honest, this Morisaki might even be better than Wakabayashi. That's how strong this guy is, and that's why I think Dream Collection has a really big potential of bringing really great characters, because they already have in the past, like him or Matsuyama, Jito, what have you. And next was Brolin. Unfortunately, for a skill type team, Brolin I think is a really important character to have. But if you look at him globally as a whole, I would say he could have had something better than this. His block and interception is really high, but his passive is auto block, and his main skill is interception. So this is like really awkward. He could have had the same exact passive as what Ishizaki has, which is auto intercept and block. If he had that, this guy would have been really great. But unfortunately, I hope one day he'll be updated. But yeah, at the moment, yeah. And then the most recent Dream Collection was Red Nita and Blue Ishizaki. So these guys, well, Ishizaki, I know many people use as a starter right now because of his great passive, like I said. So these were the orders. And it's really hard to find out a pattern of how they release the characters. It's really hard. But one thing, by looking at all the past characters that they released as a Dream Collection, I found something. One thing is, all the there's so many defensive characters in Dream Collection. And the reason I figured why it's like that is because Dream Collection is edgy on one part compared to Dreamfest, where all the characters are really evenly balanced at a real high level. Like if you see Wakabayashi, which is the most recent Fest character, he can do everything at a really high level, right? So he's really balanced character. And so was like Misaki, Tsubasa, Cliver. They could do everything at a really high level. Whereas Dream Collection, they're not as balanced as Dreamfest, of course, because Dreamfest is the #1 stats character in the game. That's how they put Dreamfest characters, right? But whereas Dream Collection is not as great as Dreamfest maybe, but if you look at one point, they sometimes even exceed Dreamfest. That's how they're creating these characters, right? And the reason why they bring so many defensive characters is because if you look at characters from the defensive point of view, you'll be matching up against opponent who has the ball, right? But when you're on defense, you match up against opponent with like more than one character most of the times, right? So if you're edgy with one character, if you're edgy on tackle, and if you're edgy on block, and you come together on one opponent guy, then you can just do tackle, do what you're good at, and you could just take the ball away from the opponent because the opponent will have to dodge both of you. And that's why I think it's easier for Dream Collection characters to be defensive, because Dream Collection is edgy. Yeah. So I think it's tough for Clap to bring midfielder characters, because midfielders, edgy is not what you want for midfielders. For midfielders, you want to be able to do everything at a really high level. So it's really preferable for it to come as a Dreamfest, which Clap is already doing. So that's the pattern I found. And another thing is, yeah, so it's not only about Dream Collection, but I figured out that whenever the game is releasing, let's say recently they released a lot of junior high, middle school characters, right? Starting off with like Misugi, Super Sub Misugi. This is normal gacha, but they started releasing that, and when they did that, they brought like hidden ability for Nankatsu Tsubasa, Black Hyuga, and then they brought Dream Collection Nita, Ishizaki. And then right after that, during Valentine's Day, they brought Izawa as a mid-school, right? So Clab they release characters by series, and then they come back again after a while. So until recently, it was mid-school. And because Dream Collection came during this mid-school timing, they brought Mitsuko, Ishizaki, and Nita, right? And even before that, they were bringing like WY, and then they brought like Morisaki, who at first came as 2018, but afterwards, when the rights was like finished or whatever, they changed that to WY. So I think they're following the timing of which series they're releasing at this time. So right now they are starting to come back to JY. This is for sure, right? Everyone knows that's happening because very recently they brought the hidden ability for the Blue Napoleon, who is JY. And they brought during the Valentine's gacha, they brought Pierre and Zeno, they are JY, right? And then even before that, they brought, I forgot who Schneider, the hidden ability Schneider. So, and Hyuga before that, the blue Hyuga, right? So they're now shifting to JY characters. And one thing I found out, so I have the feeling that they're gonna bring the next Dream collection from the JY series. And if you think about that, right, I have the feeling, my guess for the next Dream collection is it's gonna be JY Mueller Red JY Mueller. This is my first guess. The reason why, there's so many JY characters, why do you pick Mueller? Right, is the question, right? And the reason why I said Mueller is, if they missed this chance to release Mueller and JY period is over and they shift to some other series, then it's gonna be hard for Clap to bring Mueller, because Mueller basically in the manga is came out as a JY when the JY series was on, right? So, and the previous Dreamfest was Wakabayashi, and I have the feeling that they're gonna start releasing good goalkeepers to go up against Wakabayashi. And one of the biggest rival of Wakabayashi is Mueller, right? And if Clap misses this JY period to release Mueller, then it's gonna be hard for them. If this pattern that I'm guessing is right, it's gonna be hard for Clap to bring Mueller out, right? And they can't do Salinas. Salinas is only out from WY, and he just came out like pretty recently. And Zeno came out as JY, and Zeno is, yeah, in the manga he is really he was really, how do you say it? He came out as a really big character in the JY series too, right? And if you think about all that, and if the timing right now is JY, I was able to narrow the characters down to guess. And that's why I thought Mueller has to come now. Yeah, I think Clap will start releasing really great fests or collection goalkeepers. And since Zeno came out as a normal gacha, I don't think he will as collection or fest too close to the normal. So it has to be Mueller. For JY, there's only Mueller or Wakashimazu, which is my second guess, that's left for goalie, right? So that's my guess. Number 1, Mueller, red Mueller. Number 2, red Wakashimazu. And then number 3, it's not goalie. If it's not goalie, I thought it has to be this. It's Galvin. Galvin, blue Galvin, yeah. The reason why I say Galvin might come is because I've said this in the previous video too, but past video, there's not enough defenders or DMs for South American characters, and to increase these, it has to be Kaza or Galvin, I think, because there was never any Dream Collection or Fest for these characters. Or for Galvin, there's only one from Gacha. Or even Kaza, yeah. These two, only one. But the reason why I don't say Kaza this time is because Brazilian characters are not famous from JY series. So if my guess is right and the era right now is JY, I was able to narrow it down. First Mueller, second Wakashimazu, and then third Galvin. Blue. Yeah. What do you guys think? I think this guess is pretty I'm on the right track, I think. So if Mueller or even Wakashimazu as a goalkeeper comes, it's gonna be, everyone's gonna cry out loud, yes, I want this, right? Especially for those who messed up on the Fest Wakabayashi gacha, or who did not pull that much on that because you're going with like non-Japanese, European, what have you. So this has to come. This has to come. And if they are only bringing goalkeepers for Fest, it's gonna take like 3 months to release all the goalkeepers, right? And I don't think that's gonna happen. 3 months in this game is pretty damn long. They release so many characters like every week, so I think 3 months too long. And like I said, Dream Collection is where edgy characters come out. And for goalkeeper, you don't have to be balanced. If you're edgy on one part, like catch or punch, whichever, then you're gonna be, you know, using that only anyways, right? You don't need to be balanced for goalkeeper. That's my opinion. So it's possible for Dream Collection character to be a good match against Fest Wakabayashi, because you might not be good on one side, but as long as you're good on other one, then you can. So my guess, let's hope that my guess is right. I think everyone's waiting for a good goalkeeper that's not Japanese, that's not green, right? So I hope you liked the video. That's it, folks, for today. The Dream Collection should come this Friday, so, or even before that, they might announce who's it gonna be. So let's wait for that, and I hope I really guess right this time. So please subscribe for those who haven't yet, and stay tuned for my future video. Thanks for watching, and bye.